Welcome back, Officers of the Republic. It's your Coruscant Underworld Police Chief, APGAINS. We're live, but that doesn't matter. What really matters is how we can dominate Grand Arena like no one has ever dominated before. As you guys know, we've pioneered a new GAC strategy that's allowed us to climb higher in GAC than anyone ever has before. The most effective, highest win rate strategy. So, pretty freaking amazing. But there comes a point where, with a great roster, amazing skill, the best strategy, you can only climb so high because, like I know, and like you guys know, it's not a skill-based matchmaking system. It's a GP-based matchmaking system without GP-based matchmaking system brackets to go along with it. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is. You get so good. Like Icarus, I have climbed too close to the sun. Many of you guys are also like that. You have climbed too close to the sun. You can't possibly beat your opponents anymore. You know, we did ships-only defense for a couple of weeks. We're doing ships-only defense for the entire month. It is Massive PP March. Every comment that says Massive PP March, we reply to. If we get 16969 subscribers in Massive PP March, we will relic 7 our cup. So make sure to subscribe. But the point being is in GAC, we can't possibly go any higher. Our opponents are 3 and 4 million GP more. They have 3 to 4 million GP higher, 3 to 4 more Galactic Legends than us. They have double the ships. We just can't possibly win, right? So we're at the point of no return. What am I doing about it? How am I preparing myself to eventually be able to beat these people? Because it is kind of a tall task to beat people who are 4 million GP with quadruple your GLs and double your ships. It is kind of a hard task. A lot of you guys are finding yourselves in situations similar to this at varying GP levels. Maybe you're 1 million and you're facing 4 million. Maybe you're 6 million and you're facing 10 million. Everyone reaches a point where they just simply can't go any higher. It's annoying. It's not a great system, but that's just the way it is. What we can do to take advantage of this is we can start longer term farms, and that's what I'm doing. So if I was in a real skill-based competitive matchmaking system like we had in the old bracket, I would be farming my research and development teams. I would be getting my troopers up to a better gear. I'd work on the Iden troopers. I'd work on my Empire. I'd be perfecting a couple of squads. I would take my gas squad up and running a little bit higher. I would maybe play around with some Jedi or get the CLS up to all Relic 5, all Relic 7, relic my trio, you know, get a full highly relicked Sith Empire team up and running. But unfortunately, none of those things individually or even as a collective would really help me beat these colossal opponents who just have so much that I can't possibly beat them. So what I'm doing is I'm taking advantage of a time where I know it doesn't matter what I do, I can't possibly win more. We've reached the threshold, the point of no return, and we can't possibly do anything except for spend $10,000 to compete with these people. So what we're going to do is I've started my Jedi Knight Luke, possibly into Jedi Master Luke farm, because I know it is not going to add a lot of value in terms of the characters required, but they are good characters at the end. Jedi Knight Luke and JML are very, very good characters. The characters required for them are not great, but I can tank this girthy requirements and farm, because it doesn't matter right now if I quickly relic my Stark or my Veers, or, you know, I get, you know, Iden Versio up to gear 11. Like, none of those individual changes will really have any consequence on my ability to win GACs. So instead, I can tank this time where I know that my wins and my losses are not going to be affected by those individual characters, and use this time to work on something that's going to be a more long-term farm, like Jedi Knight Luke in my instance. For you, that might be General Anakin Skywalker. For you, that might be Executor or your first Galactic Legend, or even Star Killer, depending on where you are in the game. These longer farms are much more tolerable when they don't play into your ability to win and lose Grand Arenas. A perfect example is a player who starts off and rushes Sith Eternal Emperor SLKR. The reason I tell people not to do this is because the requirements are not good. The requirements do not make your account better. Sure, having that Galactic Legend at the end of the day is great, but the problem is, while you're farming up that Galactic Legend, you don't do great in Grand Arena, therefore you're getting less crystals, and those crystals cannot be used towards more refreshes or buying gear or anything like that. So instead, the wiser strategy, of course, you guys can use the APGAINS approved farming strategy, the best farming strategy in the game. Go to apgains.org and find all that information. You can do whatever you want. But realistically, a smart player will avoid a GL rush and do core teams. Core teams will allow him to win more GACs, get up to a higher level, make more daily crystals, make more weekly crystals at the end of each week, and make a lot more monthly crystals by being in a higher bracket. He can then use these crystals, he or she, I guess, you know, women, 1.7% of my viewers are women. Only 54% of you guys Actually, only 46% of you guys are subscribed. Those other 54 or whatever percentage, you guys suck because you don't subscribe. Massive PP march. Like I was saying, the wise player is going to have more of those core teams because those help you get to the point where you're winning at the highest possible level. On my account, we've already done that. We've established the core, we've got a GL, we've got an executor, we've made our account as good as it can possibly be for, where it is in its GP level, and now we can stomach those larger farms. It's kind of the reverse of an SLKR rush. We get to the point where we're making the most possible crystals free to play possible, and then we backtrack and get those big ticket items while it doesn't matter the time it takes to farm those, those girthy. I don't know why I keep using the word girthy. I feel like that's probably not the right word. But those time and crystal intensive characters. Now, of course, all this goes out the window. A lot of you guys who farm SLKR or farm C or do whatever right off the bat love to spend money, and that's totally fine. I'm not going to knock anyone who spends money. It's important for people to spend money in this game. Otherwise, we couldn't play it free to play. But it's not exactly, as you guys are well aware, the most GAC efficient strategy, right? We want to make sure that we're winning and not just getting the one cool character who we can show off, especially now that Squad Arena doesn't give any crystals. There is no advantage there. The one thing that is always going to be advantage in Fleet Arena until they remove the crystals, but also in GAC, is just making sure always our ships are up to date. We always want to make sure our ships are as good as possible. It doesn't mean if you're 500,000 GP, 5 million, or 12 million. Ships are the bread and butter, make or break of every roster. If you go into Fleet Arena and you don't have a good capital ship, you're screwed. You're not going to get those crystals. That requires getting into a good guild. It requires actively farming those ships with your energy. It requires putting in actual effort in getting those ships. It doesn't really change. From the beginning of the game, once you hit level 60, to the end of the game, ships are always going to be the most important part. We were only able to climb up to Kyber 3, Kyber 4 at 4.4 million GP, 4.5 million GP because we were only placing ships on defense. We took advantages of weaknesses in pay-to-play rosters, used everything on offense, full cleared with our better ships, and we're able to climb. And now I'm getting literally thousands of more crystals than I would have got if I had done a conventional strategy and not gone so heavily into my ships and been in a worse place. And even still, I had a moment where I realized that my ships are, better than the ships of, say someone 3 million GP more than me, but they can still get better. So I'm actively farming in Conquest to get the Interceptor because that's going to be an amazing ship. It's going to, high banner, super efficient, one-shot your negotiators, and people love to place negotiators on defense. I'm farming up, the Rebel Y-Wing to shore up my Rebel fleet a little bit. I got my Razor Crest finally up to 5 stars, so I can progress in the Executor tomorrow, or I guess today, the day the video comes out, get that to 5 stars. More banners if I use it on offense, but also a little bit stronger and faster on defense. I'm grinding Imperial Shuttle, just so that when that Thrawn fleet gets up and running, I'll be ready. And I'm just progressing in places that make my account better in GAC. And that's what you got to do. That's just what you got to do. You got to take advantage of other people's weaknesses. A lot of Grand Arena is preparing in advance for the mistakes that 90% of players make. That's all it is. All it is knowing your opponent, predicting what they're going to do, and beating them to the punch. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, I love you, and I'll see you later.